It's a little chilly. Ooh. What's morning, bitches? Alright, let's dive the fuck on in. Ooh. What up? What up? What up? This fine morning, I just cracked out of bed not too long ago. I'm not too fresh, though. I don't want to get too fresh, because then, well, that's not good for anyone. Where are my slippers? There they are right there. Can you see them? They're underneath the table there. I don't want to get up again. That was what the intro was for. But my feet are fucking cold. You guys see the kitty cat, the homemade kitty cat toy, the kitty cat fort with fucking soda can containers appended. There's 3 of them. Maybe one of them will get in there. And by one of them, I mean the white one, though. The gray one doesn't like to fuck with that shit. He's like, no, I made him get in there. Come on, get in there. You don't like it. You don't like it. He used to. Oh. Maybe I'll do it. Should I do it? Should I make him do it? Well, I don't like making him do it, but minor animal abuse. Let's do it. Where'd he go? Akatu, you want in here? They ain't having it. I can already tell. He ain't having it. Oh, shit. Speaking of sugar-free soda and feet being cold, my diabetes and shit. So I went to the madhouse. And don't know how much I want to. I want to be respectful. I want to be respectful, but sometimes it's too much. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I've seen it before. I knew that this is a possibility, but just seeing it, witnessing it firsthand is like, oh my God, really? Over fucking stuffing? All right. Jesus Christ. So we go over there. It's me and Stacy. Oh, first of all, we got the new Chili Peppers album. Well, not new. It's the album before last. We didn't we ordered the two newest Chili Peppers albums, being Chili Peppers fans, and we're listening to it in the car on the way over there. That was we were most excited for that. We were most excited for the drive over there so we could listen to music. That's not true. That's mean. That's mean. I don't know. It might be true in the case of Stacy. Was that Stacy? Was that your favorite?
What was my favorite?
Were you most anticipating listening to the Chili Peppers album we got on the ride over there than the actually being over there?
Kind of, yeah.
Like for real, for real?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Once we got there, it was kind of just ready for a nap, and just kind of we can go home.
Okay. Yeah, so she was all right. Thank you.
Until Mr. Shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, so she was legit more excited to listen to the Chili Peppers on the ride over there than actually going over there. That should tell you something. So we get there, everything was fine. We got there a little early. We decided to leave a little bit early, and here's the reason why. I know you shouldn't do that. I know I'm the asshole in this situation. You know, you say, hey, dinner or, whatever is at, 4. Start coming over at 4. And then we arrive there at 3. I know I'm the asshole in that situation. Right? So they cancel all the time. It's like weird cancellations too. It's like weird truth mixed with lies, and you don't know what or why or what's going on. Well, they've admitted as such. They've admitted that they have problems with the son, and he's acting up. And so they kind of have to cancel at the last minute. And he does it on purpose to prevent people from coming over. Anyway, so we go over there early, so they couldn't call. They've literally called us while we're walking out the door. I've had arguments with my wife about this before. Like they'd call, and it's like, don't answer the phone. We are leaving in 10 minutes. They don't know that we already. Don't answer the phone. Just don't answer it. And she's like, well, why? I need to see what they have to say. Now you just wasted the last fucking hour and a half of your life getting ready because we ain't going now. That's why. But no, so we decided just to leave early before they canceled. They didn't cancel. I don't think they were going to, but nonetheless. So we get there a little early. They weren't ready yet. Dinner was still being made. Grandma was still getting her makeup on. We had good conversation and everything. Okay, so the meat and the potatoes, the big event. It was fine. We enjoyed, conversing and talking and everything. When dinner was actually served, let's talk about dinner. Dinner was good. It really wasn't dinner. We ate at like 4, which was very early for me. I'd eaten something small right before I went over there, just because, I have to eat constantly. The food was great. I don't know how most people do it. My family traditionally never did this. Easter Sunday in the Turbo household when I was young consisted of, candy for the kids, pretty much. We'd wake up and the Easter bunny with, oh yeah, the Easter bunny. It was like Walmart Santa Claus, The Easter bunny would leave some Easter shit, right? every once in a while, not all the time. We'd have like an Easter dinner, just family. Usually a little bit better than normal, we'll whip up some mashed potatoes to go with the slop today, something like that. Now they go all out though. The Madhouse, and they always have really good food, always really good food. Today was no exception. I shouldn't have. I was going to say can't, but I did. I shouldn't eat any of it, literally any of it, because it's just packed full of shit I'm not supposed to have, but I ate it anyway. Definitely feeling it today. My blood sugar was a little high. Actually, it wasn't. It was a little bit higher than usual. It was over 100, but 112. It was 112. I took it like a half an hour ago before I had anything to eat. And it, am I bleeding still? Oh, shit. You can see where I jabbed my finger. See the little red dot? Anyway. Yeah, I guess my medication and schedule and workout regimen is working because, I didn't spike so terribly high. If I keep eating like that, then, it's bad news. But I'm surprised I did pretty good. I'm actually quite pleased that I did as good as I did. I cleaned up the haircut, shaved a little bit, right? I trimmed this whole thing down. I didn't think my beard was that long. I trimmed the whole thing down with the number 1 just to get everything even. My sideburns, sides of my head, my beard, it's all a number 1. And yeah, I didn't think it was that length yet. It is. So everything got trimmed down. I'm gonna have to. I think I like it slightly longer, the beard more than anything. So I think next time I do it, I'm gonna use the number 2. I don't think next time I go to shave it'll be number 2 length, but you get what I'm saying. I'm gonna try that out, but I think it looks good. Anyway, we go over there. Everything was fine. Food was great. So then in comes Chris. Chris is how do I describe him? He is my friend. I feel bad every single time I sarcastically refer to him as my friend because not because he isn't, but because I don't know. The word friend the meaning has changed to me over the years. I used to have a lot of friends. I used to have a lot of different types of friends that do different types of things. People who I thought were my friends, people who thought I was their friend. They've all come and gone. Even the measure of those who stick around is questionable. But, I would say I have one good friend. In addition to family members and loved ones and my wife and people who I trust, I would say I have one good friend. And Chris is, I've known him since he was a child, since we were both children. He is probably my longest friend. Just he hasn't really. I would probably have no contact with him if it wasn't for the fact that I go over to the household and see the rest of his family as well. But I've known him for so long. Him and his family. They have my loyalty, and that's about it. But he's such a fucking jerk. He's such a fucking jerk. Not to me. Sometimes he is. It's different when he does it to me. I'm just kind of like, buddy, what's going on, man? What? But when he does it to other people, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. So, man, I really think I dived in deep to their saga. Maybe at some point, but all right, I'll quit beating around the bush. So what the fuck did this fucking nigger do? So everything was fine. It was the family, consisted of the mother, the grandmother, the dad. Me and Stacy were there. Bill, the uncle who lives nearby, he was supposed to be over there with his wife / girlfriend. That person always changes. He wasn't there yet. And then there was another family friend, their family friend. We know her name's Lisa. She's okay. She's not our close friend personally, but we see her over there at gatherings for a few years now, and she's okay. She's a good girl. She helped make some of the food, brought some over, and we're all up there eating, serving up, and then Chris comes up from downstairs, looking pretty skinny. He's a big boy. I'm talking 350 pounds, and he's like 6'2", maybe 6'1", 6'2", something like that. He's a big boy. And yeah, he's bordering on, or was bordering on, my 600-pound. Well, he's goddamn big. I just told you how big he was. He wasn't looking too big, though. He was looking skinny, which is weird. And it's because of the drugs. He comes up from the depths. I never see him, even when I go over there. There's been times I go over there, I don't see him once. He's just downstairs the whole time. And I'm advised not to go down there and say hi. I do every once in a while, but last few times it's been a little rough. Just because, well, he sometimes he doesn't shower for weeks, and he does weird shit like poop in bags and leave the bags everywhere, and it stinks. Going down there to say hi and everything. I talked a little bit about it, going down there and getting hot box and talking about video games and shit. That was like going back a year, maybe more ago. Not so much these days. He picks his face. It's just rough. Talking to him. I pretend like I don't see it, and I'm trying to help him, trying to make him feel better, give him a sense of normalcy and everything, but I probably just make him feel worse. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. It's not a conversation I've had with him. So he comes up looking all, he shambles up, looking all fucked up. I made the joke. He always has his head shaved. Always. Ever since he has the same fucking haircut as he did when he was 12. Shaves his head, lets it grow out a little bit, shaves it again. He never grew facial hair until he was 30. And he just constantly has like some scruff, and then he shaves it off. He let that shit grow out. I joked that his beard and his hair was longer than mine, which has never happened before. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. He goes, you look weird without a long beard. I said, I know, right? Everyone's sitting down at the nice dinner table. They got this huge, massive wooden, like, antique table. It's like this Norse table. Those big, long Norse tables. But this one, like, extends out. You could pull the leaves out and then put in these boards in between to make it even longer. It was all extended and shit. Tons of food on the table. Everyone was sitting down eating. There was like 6 or 7 of us. You count how many people, I forget. And he comes in there and he's standing. He's got his plate. Everyone's sitting down eating. He doesn't want to sit and eat with us. He wants to like load up and then go back downstairs, which is Weird. You would think they would say, no, you can't do that. Fucking sit up here and eat. They wouldn't be able to enforce it, but they could at least try. And this is the problem with this whole dynamic. Just never mind for a minute that he's 35 and he still lives at home, right? And he contributes nothing. Just never mind that fact. Just the fact that they don't even go over the rules. You know, they don't even tell him, you're invited and come and eat with us, but you have to sit down and eat with us. You don't just rudely load up and then go away. They don't even bother saying that. They don't even bother saying that. They don't bother saying anything or explaining anything to him, and he just does whatever. And when he starts doing whatever, instead of correcting him or reprimanding him, they start name calling anyway. So I'm sure you've surmised some sort of big blowout is going to happen, and it did. What started? Did someone call names? Did someone kill someone and made him upset? Nope. It was I don't even know how to say this, because I'm still confused over what made him so mad and why he was mad at these two people in particular, because it was so random. It was so random. He was mad that he didn't get the stuffing he wanted. That sounds like some bullshit that I just made up to justify him screaming, because maybe his claims were legitimate. Maybe, I don't want to take his side. Maybe I'm lying to make him seem more like a monster than he really was. No, that's really what it was. He was mad that he didn't get the stuffing he wanted. So what did that look like? Did he come up and go, "Oh, this ain't the stuffing I want. What the hell?" Worse. It was worse. So Lisa, the family friend who I was talking about, she brought her own stuffing. And when they were loading up on the table, the decision was made in part because Lisa took the time out of her day to make her own stuffing, for her family. She came over. Apparently she had like an early breakfast or dinner. I don't know what her situation was, but she made stuffing, like legit stuffing, in a turkey and everything. And then she got the stuffing and brought it over, And then when they were loading up on the table, they're like, fuck it. She already brought stuffing over. We don't need to use ours. And so they left the stuffing in the turkey, in the kitchen. And we were eating the stuffing Lisa brought over, which was okay, So Chris is weird. He doesn't like to eat other people's food. He gets neurotic. He's a drug addict. He just fucking freaks out if he doesn't eat at other people's houses. He doesn't do that. And his justification over his freak out, he was describing a situation where he went over to someone's house this one time and ate their fried rice. And he bit the bullet and ate it anyway because he was starving. And it turned out to be really good. So he opens up the stuffing, cracks that shit open, looks at it, blinks at it a couple times, and was like muttering shit under his breath. Fuck. I don't, we're all eating sitting down. He's standing, hovering over the table, his 350-pound self with a plate with shit on it in hand, going for the stuffing, muttering shit, fucking shit. And I'm looking at me and Stacy are like, the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on, man? And everybody was just going about their business like nothing was wrong. Milling about. The mom and the grandma and the dad milling about. And I'm observing all of this, thinking to myself, You don't want to, this is the key moment. You don't want to rile it up any more than you have to. Let's all keep our heads down, mill about, and then pretend he doesn't exist as he's deciding how big he wants to explode. And me and Stacy, I'm sitting here, Stacy's to my left, and we're like kind of doing this and shit like that. Every time you'd mutter something or make a movement, we'd kind of jerk, kind of like, what the fuck, right? My only concern was that he would like throw something and it would hit Stacy or something like that. So I was ready to like, blockade, just in case. I know he wouldn't like assault her on purpose, because that would not be something I would want to do, but I would have to do at that point to defend her honor. But I was getting ready to blockade any sort of random fork or cranberry or anything of the sort. Nothing like that happened. But he went from muttering to forming words, and then he finally decided he wanted to make a stand and call out the stuffing. And he wanted to know, this isn't our regular stuffing. What the flying fuck? And so his mom said, this is Lisa's stuffing. We're having Lisa's stuffing today. That was a mistake. What you should have done to prevent the situation, and that would have enabled it for sure, but in her own words, because after the fact, they're like, oh, it ruined the day, it ruined the day, it ruined the day. They enabled it. They engaged in the back and forth. They participated for sure. The only one that didn't participate was Corey, the dad, me, and Stacy. The three of us sat there and didn't engage. We didn't. Well, I did a little bit because I was asking them, like, I was trying to help out. I was trying to smooth shit over. I was like, well, what do you mean? Oh, no, the stuffing's fine. I had some. It's really good. Just try some. I was like, well, where's the other stuffing? I was trying to push them. I was trying to say, without saying it, if you want the other goddamn stuffing, motherfucker, go in the kitchen and quietly get your goddamn stuffing and then be on your merry way. I was trying to say that politely, So yeah, I did engage, but I did not call names and call names back or anything like that. Also, I was at a guest's house. This wasn't my house, or someone was acting like this in my house. Because believe me, it would happen exactly one time, and it would never happen again. So it wasn't my place to really do or say anything, but I tried to smooth things over a little bit. It didn't work. He didn't understand any of this. He just started getting angrier that it wasn't his stuffing, and he started muttering fuck and shit and what the fuck and stuff like that. That started to become, he started to put a target on that. Fucking bitch. You guys are fucking bitches. You stupid cunt. Right? And then he started directing it towards his mother and his grandmother. His grandmother didn't cook shit. His grandmother's old, spent the whole fucking hour we were there before dinner was ready putting on her fucking makeup. And then when she was done, she went and waited in the other room in her bedroom because she wasn't feeling good. And then, when dinner was finally ready, she came out. Yet she's still a fucking cunt. It was directed more at her than, his mother. And he just started letting loose. And of course, I wanted to say something. If this was the first, if I'm kind of used to it. I know this is what he does. I know this is how he acts. And, I've tried talking to him about it. Like I said, it's difficult. It's difficult because I'm friends with the whole family. I like the mother and the grandmother and the husband and, the son. The son was the OG. The son was the one who was my friend at first before I befriended the rest of the family. But, my wife didn't say anything. She wouldn't have. I didn't say anything. Dad didn't say anything. The girls did, though. They just they're so entrenched in that and tired of that. I don't know, even really think they give a fuck, but they don't really do anything to help the situation. She could have said, oh, yeah, we're having, this is what's on the table right now. We're having that. Lisa took the time to make this and bring it over. This is what we're eating. But if you want the other stuffing, we have some. It's there in the kitchen. Just go and serve yourself up. There you go. He probably would have swore and muttered and gotten weird, but option A, get your fucking stuffing. Option B, don't have it. They didn't do that. They didn't say that. I tried to say that, but at that point, I would have been like, bro, shut up and just go and get the stuffing. It's there in the goddamn kitchen. Again, would have been out of place for me to say. But I did tell him, look, there's some in the kitchen. He kind of just like, you could tell he couldn't understand what I was saying because he doesn't make food and he doesn't prepare food or deliver it. He just knows how to grab a spoon, a serving spoon, and then plop on his own plate. That's all he knows how to do. He can't open up the oven and get oven mitts and then pull it out. He doesn't understand that. So he starts yelling, and when I mean yelling, I mean yelling. I mean yelling. Anger, swearing, calling names, cunt and bitch, pretty much that, saying fuck every other word. Oh, it was over something so ridiculous, over fucking stuffing. Not that we didn't have any, but that we had a different kind. And Lisa, I don't know, it was so, I felt a little bad for Lisa because he's acting like it was bad stuffing. And I was like, the stuffing's actually good. I made it a point to compliment her afterwards. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. This is good shit, It was okay. It was okay. It was really good at first, but she put Italian sausage in it, which was kind of weird. I didn't quite catch it at first, but I know it's strange. It's strange. Some people might be like, nah, it's not that strange. Anyway, eventually he was standing there yelling and screaming, and then he went to go back downstairs, and you'd think that is where it ended. Like, he's going back down away. It's over. He'll stop yelling and stuff. No, he continued to yell, just in a different room, downstairs. And he was so loud and disruptive. It was like he was right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad he eventually left and moved away, but he went and he continued to yell for the next like 10 minutes. Just yelling and yelling. And that's what he does. He'll go in the other room and scream. And just keep screaming. Just repeating the same stuff over and over again. And if you do ignore him, well, ignoring him doesn't really work. He wants a conflict. He wants a conflict. He wants some sort of in his mind, they fucked up. In his mind, he needs them to be sorry or have some sort of consequence to learn from the situation in his mind. And so he wants some sort of visible, measurable response to indicate that. Some sort of grief or sorrow or something, or even just elicit anger. So ignoring him doesn't work because he'll keep doing that until he gets a response. So it's best to get it over with, right? Interact with him just so the situation can move past, the yelling and screaming phase. Again, that is enabling. They enable him by doing that, and they just make the same mistakes. They always try to ignore him, especially when company's over. They always try to ignore him at first, and it never works because of this, because they don't understand the dynamic. And then they give in, and it's the most pathetic way of giving in as well, because they just want the yelling and the screaming and the harassment and abuse to stop. And so how do they do that? They give in and submit. They engage with him, take his abuse, have a back and forth, have an exchange. And then after that, after he breaks something or throws something, sometimes at them, or he, he'll dial it up. There's just the ambiguous screaming and yelling and swearing. He'll toss an insult your way, every couple of swear words. There's that base level, and then there's the more directed. I hate you. You fucked up. You always do this. Example, which is never cohesive or coherent. I'm going to kill you. This is why I do this, that, and the other. And the this, that, and the other is always something heinous. And it's just, it's a tier above. And that goes on for a little bit. They enable, they let him do this shit. They let him do the drugs. They let him stay there. Apparently he's wrapped up in, I don't know the particulars outside of some gossip, but apparently he's wrapped up in court cases and he has restrictions. They implied as much. They said, you're not even supposed to be up here talking to us right now, implying that they have a restraining order or some sort of no contact order in place. But, them being the enabling parents and all, they think that means he could stay in the house. It's ridiculous. The police have been called, not necessarily by them, but sometimes, a lot of times by them, by like neighbors and stuff that hear this shit. Police have been called. They have responded to, this is how fucked up their situation is. And this probably says more about the police there. There have been times, multiple times, the police have been called to the house. Okay, are you following? The police have been called to the house. This is how bad the justice system is and the current political climate here in Seattle. Let me just describe the situation to you. You tell me if you think this is real or not. The answer is you won't think it's real, but it is. The police have responded to a house for violent crimes. There is domestic violence going on here. Police have responded, arrived on scene, have witnessed firsthand the male, by the way, the guy, huge guy, yelling and screaming and throwing things. They don't witness the assault because Chris only pulls back, but only slightly when they're there. He knows not to physically assault anyone while the police are there. But there are people and reports. You will have a dad, a mom, and a grandmother all claiming, yeah, he hit us. He threw a dumbbell and hit her in the back. Police will get there, survey the situation, see he's out of control and yelling and screaming. Show them the court papers. Show the police that there's a no contact order. He shouldn't even be here. Right? What do you think happens? Do you think they take him to jail? Do you think they take him and drop him off somewhere else? No. No. 2 out of the 3 times, they don't do anything. They just explain how they can't. Oh, this person committed a crime. There's domestic violence going on. But we can't do anything. Oh, there's a no contact order, a legally binding. That's a no-no. You see that shit on Springer and Steve Wilkos and shit like that all the time. If police get called and they arrive on scene, someone's there that has a no contact order. That's it. That is it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That is fucking it, buddy. No. 2 out of 3 times they leave, and that's that. The other time, you think they'd take Chris away. Nope. They usually take the mom. Why? Because the mom is the one that called. What difference does that make? Well, they have a history of this. And the mom calls still every once in a while out of desperation. And the police are mad at her. When the call comes from that house and not an outside source, they're mad at whoever calls. How dare you bring us down here again? That's crazy. That is the City of Burien Police Department for you. Now, I'm not saying what should or shouldn't happen. I'm just saying, as an outside observer, it doesn't look like the police are doing their job. It doesn't look like it. Anyway, the police were not called this day. But my God, this happens all the time. All the time. The police have been there. I haven't asked, but the police have already been there at least 3 times this year. Just wild and crazy to me, man. So he goes downstairs. He's carrying on, yelling and screaming. This is when the mother and the grandmother start chiming in. And I don't even know if they're aware of what's going on. I don't even know. Well, I know they're aware that they're not. I know they're not aware that they're enabling the situation. They know they are. They just don't know how they are. I've tried explaining some things to them. They end up getting real defensive real quick. Susan, the grandmother, she actually defended him a little bit here in the situation. I'll get into that in a second. So they chime in and they start yelling back at him. Oh, stop. Oh, be quiet. It starts off, oh, stop it. Be quiet. Shut up. Then it's shut the fuck up. Then it's fuck you. You're the problem. Shut the fuck up. And then they issue a back threats. I'll call the police. And then, he starts, the police ain't going to do shit. They're going to take you away. And I would say it was uncomfortable, but it kind of wasn't. I have similar problems in my family dynamic, or at least I used to when everyone was young and full of piss and vinegar, and half the people in my family weren't dead. But I'm no stranger to that. I know the family. I know what they go through and stuff. None of it was really a surprise. I grew up in a group home, and I've been in jail before. I none of this really, bothered me that much. But I did feel super bad for, the girls there. The grandmother, the mom literally said this to me yesterday while I was over there when, the grandmother, when Susan was in the other room. I think she is not going to survive this year. She said that. Grandmother is sickly. Lisa, she made the shit. Could you imagine you make a pie or something like that? You go over to someone's house and some guy flips out because it's not the pie he wanted. That would suck. Right? So she was quiet, and then so they were yelling and back and forth, right? And I don't know. Women are just different. Women are just fucking different. Lisa's over there a little bit more often than I am, so she knows the dynamic a little bit better and felt that it was a little bit more appropriate for her to do something like this. But, Corinne chimed in, the mom. Susan chimed in. Chris's yelling escalated a little bit. That didn't work. And so then that's when Lisa stepped in. Lisa understands, I believe. Lisa, I think, is in an abusive relationship. They've alluded as much. Her boyfriend or husband, they've been together for 15 years, apparently. I've never seen them before. I've seen Lisa many times. She always comes over by herself. They've alluded that she is in an abusive relationship. You know, she's had black eyes before and stuff. So I just learned today that the guy she's been with for 15 years, which would mean the black eyes she's gotten before. Anyway, I've never seen him because he never comes over. So she's probably going through some shit with him. And then this happens. And so she felt the need to step in. She probably gets the dynamic. She probably gets that you got to put your foot down. You got to get in there. You got to fucking do something. Right? She gets it. She gets it. So she did something. She stood up from the table, started engaging with him, yelling and screaming, walked downstairs, and you could hear doors slamming. You could hear, come on, bitch, you want to go? Let's fucking go. She's like 120 pounds wet, maybe. This guy was like 350 pounds. I was afraid he'd hit her. Then you might be thinking, well, Turbo, are you going to step in then? Nah. Man, there's so many dynamics going here. I was staying out of it till the very end. Man. Conflict of interest. I was asked by the family to testify against him on several occasions. I always decline. Conflict of interest. I know him. He's my family. You know, I know their family. I'm friends with all of them. He's my friend. You know, I know he's kind of a bad dude and something needs to be done, but the onus is not on me. I'm not going to testify against a friend that I've known for 35 fucking years because, you know, their family doesn't have the balls to just fucking throw him out. Like, conflict of interest. And besides, I know what'll happen. I've seen this happen, not only with them, but with other people. You take sides, then they reconcile, then you're the asshole. Happens every fucking time. It happens with them. I've seen family friends take sides against Chris, and then when, you know, they get along, or Chris has another magical ailment that only his mom can fix, and then it's, oh, poor Chris, you know, it turns into, oh, remember that one time when so and so was mean to Chris? I'm not doing it. I ain't falling for that trap. They would do that in a heartbeat against me. They'd put me on the outs in a heartbeat. Remember the time you yelled at Chris over Easter Sunday dinner? You know, when you screamed at him and threatened him? You know, that was wrong of you to do. They did that to fucking Lisa that day. So he shut up and everything after that. He didn't hit her. They thought maybe he did. Like that's when, you know, Corinne did something. She got up. She's like, did he hit her? Did he hit her? It's like, well, we don't fucking know. We weren't there. She was acting all concerned. Wasn't that concerned when Lisa got up and went down there in the moment, but after the fact, she was concerned. Lisa took off. Lisa got upset and took off. She just bounced. She's like, oh, you know, she stepped outside for a little bit, sitting on the porch. I think she was going through some shit with her boyfriend at the time. I don't know. But the point here is Lisa, the little woman, went and kind of handled the situation, which I'm thankful for. Because if not for that, he'd probably still be screaming. But now she probably shouldn't have done that for her own sake. Because, you know. And then what? Because that would have caused a whole another mess of problems. Then her boyfriend wasn't there to defend her. And, you know, at that point, I was just worried about Stacy, you know, her catching a fucking stray meatball or something like that. If he started to throw something, he wouldn't just like attack her. She wouldn't have said anything either. I don't think he's ever said anything. The meanest, the worst thing he's ever said about her is he joked that when we had him over for dinner once, that he called it kindergarten portions. That still rubs her the wrong way to this day. It's like, the guy's a fat man. He wants his food. But man, their family dynamic is so messed up. The path is clear to me. The path is very clear to me, and they will not do it. So after it was all said and done, I was talking with Susan, and Susan said that Lisa shouldn't have done what she would have that she did. She was out of place. It's like she's defending fucking that guy. Ah, man. I mean, I did say, yeah, that's why I didn't do anything. That's why I didn't say anything. It wasn't my place to do so. But what she didn't understand is when I said that is, it's your guys' fucking job to do something, and you guys didn't fucking do anything. Therefore Lisa or someone else had to step in. Like, that's what they don't get. That's what they don't fucking get, is they don't do anything about it. And then when someone else does, then they get mad at them. It's like, they keep saying they're trying to do the best for him. They keep saying they don't want him. They've been saying forever they don't want him in jail because he'll die in jail. Well, he went to jail for like 3 months. Finally, after years of this shit, he finally went to jail. They got some sort of hard-ass judge. And he was in jail for 3 months. And then during his he came out, had another hearing. They were ready to let him out, too. This is how fucked up our justice system is, especially here in the state. So he was in there for like a month. And all he had to do was say, yes, Amasa, I'm sorry. I will change my ways. I'll go to a therapy session or whatever. Now he comes out and the judge was like, well, are you sorry for what you did? All he had to do was say, yeah, and blow some smoke. He didn't. You know what he fucking did? He was like, nah, I'm not fucking sorry. They're in the wrong. I'll do that shit again. Fucking, I'm not going to stop doing drugs. When I come out of fucking jail, I'm going to go right back doing that shit. He said that shit to the fucking judge, and the judge says, okay, well, back in you go to serve your full sentence of 3 months then. Man, what kind of fucking judge? Do you see what we're dealing with here in the Seattle area? Judges like that, police officers like this? Are you fucking serious? Holy shit. If you got a book, and I know you do because you don't ever use them, you throw it at someone, this is the guy you throw the book at. Oh my God. No, eventually he came out and he had all sorts of restraining orders and mandates and everything, and none of it worked. Probation and all that stuff. What good is probation if you're not going to enforce it? Nothing's enforceable. Nothing is enforceable. No one does anything. They don't throw him out. Now it's a whole new thing. Now it's, we're trying to get him committed. Anyway. Shit is wild. Shit is just fucking wild. Yeah, I would handle that. I would never let a situation get that bad. He clearly knows he could get away with this shit. It's been tried and tested, Fuck, I don't know. I really don't know. It ain't my job. It ain't my fucking place to step in, Like I said, they deal with this shit all the fucking time. I know that. I'm not going to go over there and start fucking throwing my weight around and stuff. Do I want to? I don't know. The dynamic is a little different there. I do like the whole family. I know what would happen. What am I going to do? Defend their honor? And then I'd be the asshole, and then I'd never be able to come over again. That's shitty. I never asked him this, but I know. I know how things go. I've had friends. My best friend, in fact, there was a period of years there where he was with a very shitty woman. And I know damn well what would happen because he would tell me all the time. He was with a very shitty fucking woman. And everyone in his life, his friends, his other friends, his family, they would criticize her all the time, make fun of her, even go as far as to say that they're not going to do certain things for him as long as he's with her. He was with a horrible fucking woman. I was the only one of his friends. When he would ask specifically, hey, you're kind of quiet on this. What do you think of this? What do you think of her? What do you think when she does this? What should I do? When he would ask me specifically, I would tell him straight up, well, I think you should do this, this, and that. And he'd always be so surprised. I didn't think you'd say that. Well, no, I just keep my fucking mouth shut. Because you get mad at them when they tell you the truth. You know, I'm not trying to impose that shit on you, but you're asking, so I'm telling, right? There was a period of time where she fucking was trying to beef with me. Like there was a problem, not between me and my friend, not between my friend and his girl, but between his girl and me. I did not like that boundary. It is not a fight that I fucking picked. And I only said something so my wife wouldn't, you know, because I don't need, you know, my wife fucking getting involved and yelling and fighting and shit like that, especially with my friend's fucking woman, right? So I fucking, you know, went to my friend and I said, hey, you know, this, that, and the other. Like it's causing problems. You gotta, you know, I don't want to deal with this no more. He got mad at me. And for a few years there, I wasn't talking to him because he was mad at me. That's my point. That shit always fucking happens. Every time you beef with a friend's family member or a friend's woman or anything like that, they get mad at you. They get mad at you. So I know that's what would fucking happen. If I fucking said something to Chris or beat his ass or what have you, they would get mad at me. And I'm staying out of it. And let's not forget that they've enabled this shit for years. I can't just go in there and throw my weight around and fix everything. Fix fucking 15 goddamn years of this shit. They could throw him out. They don't. And when he goes to jail, what do? They buy him thousands of dollars of special care packages for commissary. So he could trade it to everyone for drugs in there. Holy shit. They knew. They knew. But they felt bad for putting him in jail. They felt so bad they spent thousands of dollars of commissary. There's companies now. It's been a long time since I was in jail. They have companies now that specialize in commissary. How do you say it? Commissary? The fucking food and little approved things and shit that you could have in fucking jail and stuff. They have companies that specialize in that shit, that fucking work as a middleman in between the jail and the justice system and the consumer. And you buy overpriced fucking bags of chips and shit that go directly to them. They would buy thousands of dollars of this shit for him, and he would trade it, because he had it in excess, for drugs on the inside. He was in jail for drugs, and they would literally feed his drug habit, and they knew what was going on, and they just did it anyway because they felt bad that they put him in jail. That's how fucked this is. Oh, and he's got a woman too. She lives in Canada. He has children with her. She comes down like twice a year, and they're all living there in the house. She'll come down from Canada like twice a year. She's got like a 10-year-old that's not his, and their son together is like 4 now. They'll come down and stay for like a month, and they will fight like cats and dogs. It's the most pathetic thing. They're both old and fat. They're both fat and no one wants to be with them, but they need to get their fucking rocks off. So twice a year, she comes down from Canada, and they maybe sleep together once or twice. And then after that, they fight the whole fucking time, and they can't stand each other, and then she leaves. It's the most fucked up dynamic. I sound normal compared to that shit. Anyway, it's going on an hour. I've talked too much, but that was my Easter Sunday. I did have a good Easter. The yelling and the screaming and the drama. That was only like 10 minutes. That was only 10 minutes of my day. It was more entertaining than anything. I was a little concerned he would hit Lisa, but he didn't. After that, it was all said and done. It was all said and done. And then, about the time we were going to be leaving, the guests started rolling in. A guy named Rodney. He was Corey's friend. He came over. The food was cold at that point, but Rodney likes to smoke some weed. Chris came back upstairs after Rodney got there, and everyone acted like everything was normal. And they were talking a little bit, but yeah, that was about it. Everything was fine though. Everything was fucking fine. But I had a good time. The food was great. I overate. I need to hit the bike. Need to hit the bike a little bit more than usual. I think I'm gonna jump on it here right after I hit the stop button. But it was fun. That was my morning. That was my Sunday. What day is it today? Monday. My package from Best Buy, Metroid Prime Remastered, the physical edition. It's supposed to be arriving yesterday, and it never came. It just says out for delivery. I don't know what's going on with that. I want to fucking play that shit. Anyway, I gotta go. I didn't even drink all my coffee yet. Throat hurts a little bit. I was talking way too damn much. But you know how it goes. I got drinks to drink, bitches to fuck, and games to play. So I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow. No one showed up today. Made me a little sad. But I'll keep this up. It's fun. I do got to shorten these things up, especially if I run out of topics or what have you. But good story time nonetheless. I don't know what to call this one. Should I call this one? I already did fucking Easter at the Madhouse. That should have been today's. Fucking topic. Easter at the Madhouse, part 2. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Drinks to drink, bitches to fuck, games to play. See you guys tomorrow. Peace, love, and all that good shit.